this is Tom Soane, and today we're going to talk about the exciting topic of increasing your rent for an existing tenancy. Because believe it or not, there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And there's the right time to do it and the wrong time to do it. And there's the right process that you've got to follow and the right documents that you've got to use. And I want to make sure that you get it right every single time, because I see so many landlords get it wrong, and letting agents as well. So if you've got a managing agent, then you should know this so that you know what process they have to follow. And if they're not following it, then you've got to kick their ass. Anyway, look, it doesn't matter if you're a landlord that's got an existing tenancy and you haven't increased the rent for 3 or 4 years. Somewhere in your mind, you know you should, right? You know you should increase the rent, but you perhaps don't want to piss anyone off. You don't want to cause the tenant to leave or rustle any feathers or anything like that. Maybe you're just comfortable with the rent where it is. Or maybe you're a new landlord who've got a new tenancy and your plan is to keep the rent at the optimal level throughout the entire tenancy. So look, I'm not talking about be greedy here. I'm not talking about increase the rent and squeeze every single pound you possibly can out of your tenants. But you are entitled to make profit. That's your right. It's a property investment. Don't feel bad about making a good return on your investment. But either way, I want to make sure you get this part right and you get the right rental income coming in and you do it in the right way. And by the way, if you need a rent valuation, just pop a comment below or send me an inbox or an email. It's tom@pinkstreet.co.uk. And me and the team will sort out a rent valuation for you and give you an idea of what rents you could potentially get for the property. Anyway, first thing to know is that technically you can only increase the rent at the end of the current tenancy, unless the tenant agrees to the rent increase during the existing tenancy. And if you do that, you've got to give a month's notice, but my advice to you is give more than a month. I mean, just imagine if you're a tenant and your landlord said, "Hi, by the way, your rent's going up next month, see you later, bye." Well, that's just a bit harsh, and maybe a little bit of adjustment is needed. So give your tenants a bit of respect, give them a bit of flexibility if you are going to increase the rent. But remember that they have to agree to it, unless you do a whole new contract. Now, you as the landlord can agree with the tenant to terminate one contract and start a new contract straight away at an increased rent. But again, that's why the tenant has to agree to it. Now, again, if it's the end of the tenancy and that tenancy has terminated, then you can do a new tenancy agreement with the increased rent on it. Do remember that you can only increase the rent once a year, and if you do increase the rent, it must be fair and it's got to be in line with the current market value. I know, you can't just extort the tenant and tell them that they're now paying twice as much as what they're supposed to pay in that current market, because remember that the tenant is entitled, and remember this bit, to challenge your rent increase through a tribunal. So if you are going to be stupid with the rent, just remember that might come back and bite you. And there are some pretty awful penalties involved in doing silly things like that. And you don't need to. Remember what I said earlier, don't squeeze the tenant out of every single pound. Don't be greedy, but you are also entitled to make some money and get a return on investment and make some profit. It is a property investment after all. Anyway, the document that you need for this is called a Section 13. Brilliant. Exactly what it says on the tin, right? Don't know why they name these things like this. But anyway, Section 13 relates to that part of the Housing Act. But that's the geek in me. I don't expect you to know that, but that's what I'm here for, to give you this stuff for free. By the way, if you need that document, just send me a comment or a message or an email, tom@pinkstreet.co.uk, and me and the team will get that out to you. But look, remember what I said. If you need a rent valuation, then just give me a shout. Happy to do that anytime. And don't forget, my podcast, The Anonymous Landlord, is now live. And there's loads of awesome stuff. I'm really chuffed with it. I might be giving away advice that I probably shouldn't. And I'm probably giving away tips and strategies and techniques that I probably shouldn't. But do you know what? I do this for free because I really enjoy doing it. There are some people that will charge you thousands of quid for these strategies and techniques, but that's up to them, and hopefully they do well from it, but I'm happy to just do it for nothing. Anyway, hopefully that helps, and now you can go and increase the rent in the right way, at the right time, with the right process and the right documents, And look, share this around. Let's help other people too. If you think that that was useful and you know another landlord that's, perhaps not increased their rent for a bit, then get them involved so that we can help as many people as we possibly can. Anyway, remember, being a landlord is hard, but being an anonymous landlord is bloody easy. So I will speak to you all very soon. Take care, everyone.